They didn't say anything. They didn't need to. They looked at you, and you obeyed, because that's how the eye works. It bypasses logic, slides past skepticism, and stabs identity straight through. You think eye contact means connection. It doesn't. It's control. Unspoken, unblinking, unrelenting. A master manipulator doesn't shout. They stare, and in that stare, they rewrite you. They erase your doubt. They plant new ones. They stare like they own the silence, like they built the moment, like you're trespassing inside your own emotions. And you apologize, not with words, but with micro-submissions, dilated pupils, lowered gaze, defensive body shifts, as if the truth were contagious. You didn't consent, but your nervous system did. Your biology betrayed you. Again, Jung called it the shadow reflex. Nietzsche called it the abyss winking back. Machiavelli called it theater. Lacan would say the gaze ruptured your symbolic order. And here you are, bleeding in places thought logic-proof. You thought they were listening. They weren't. They were programming. Each blink calculated. Each pause a trap. They don't need your words. They need your instability. They need your need. A manipulator weaponizes the eye to make you question your memory. They say nothing, but stare long enough to distort your perception. Suddenly you're defending things you didn't do, explaining emotions they never asked about, volunteering your weaknesses, just to get the gaze to soften. You gave yourself up because their pupils didn't blink, and you mistook the absence of distraction for depth. It wasn't depth. It was predation. They make eye contact during lies, so you second-guess your intuition. They hold eye contact during guilt trips, so your resistance gets labeled cold. They intensify eye contact when you rebel, so your defiance feels like betrayal. It's not just psychological, it's physiological. Dopamine leaks, cortisol spikes. You begin craving their approval like oxygen, and they know it. They curate that dependence with millisecond glances and surgical pupils. They stare after insult to make you question if it was even said. They stare through compliments, so you chase their validation like a mirage. They stare when you speak truth, so you doubt your sanity mid-sentence. It's not charisma. It's choreography. It's dark empathy cloaked in elegance. It's seduction without touch, authority without words. And you mistake this theater for intimacy. You think you've been seen. You haven't. You've been targeted. Not for your uniqueness, but for your pliability. You think they're listening. They're not. They're collecting. They're scanning for emotional leverage points. They stare until you feel naked. Not physically, psychologically. You give your history away in fragments just to break the tension. But they're not tense. You are. They're feeding off it. You plead with your eyes, and they don't flinch. Because the manipulator's eye is a tool, not a window. You look away first. Every time. Not because you're weak, but because you're untrained. And they have made weaponry out of instinct. You want truth, but they stare until you fabricate it. Just to fill the silence. Just to earn a nod. Just to feel seen. Even if seen incorrectly. They reward eye contact with attention, but punish it with withdrawal. They engineer contradiction, so your survival instinct kicks in, and you adapt by abandoning certainty. You start reading their pupils like tarot cards. Was that dilation, disgust, desire, approval? You become addicted to the unspoken. This is not connection. This is neurochemical slavery. And if you think you're immune, you're already compromised. They stare while you cry, so you apologize for being human. They stare when you're angry, so you blame your tone. They stare when you catch them lying, so you convince yourself it's misunderstanding. They stare until your confidence leaks, until your truth softens, until your self erodes, because the eye bypasses argument. No rebuttal lands when pupils dominate the room, and you wonder, am I overreacting? Am I unstable? Am I seeing things? No. You're not seeing things. You're being seen strategically. And unless you learn to decode their stare, you will perform your own betrayal over and over, on loop. You'll call it intimacy, healing, understanding. You'll say, I felt seen, but you weren't. You were studied, categorized, played. So learn the stare. Learn who blinks first. Learn who softens. Learn who pivots. And learn to return it, not with fear, but with fire. Look back, even if your spine trembles, even if your gut screams, even if everything in you wants to look away. Don't meet manipulation with Machiavellian resolve. Don't flinch. Don't explain. Don't beg. You are not theirs to command. Your gaze is your sword, and your silence is your fortress. Hold it, because once you master your eyes, you master your fate.